What's up and welcome back to Cleats to Whistle podcast, man. We are here with the Coach's Spotlight. We actually got two guys. Hey, Coach's boy right here.
I had to get my guy in there, man.
He just said, Coach is like, you want to get on? He's like, yep. But, man, we appreciate you for having us out here, man. Just recently got the head coaching job here, so it was pretty quick turnaround, man.
Yeah. I'd definitely say that. I've been around the block for a little while, and it's my goal. So step up to the plate. You know.
There we go. Well, my name is Brad Valdez.
And
this
I'm
guy
Kevin Watson.
is Eric Watson.
Kevin Watson. Don't let this guy fool you. Everybody knows my name.
Yes. So, man, like I say, I appreciate you guys for having us out, man. And this is just for you, the community, get to know you guys, man, and really get out here. You know, we tell that to the boys, man, but we really want them to get around the coaching staff and really, you know, support you guys. If you guys have any fundraisers, throw it out here, man. Whatever we can do to pub you guys and get you guys out there and get that funds coming in for it. That's what we're trying to do.
Yes, sir. Definitely gonna need that. Been around the community specifically today, just trying to help our kids with food and stuff. We have a booster fundraiser coming up on the 16th. This Tuesday, so that's our next fundraiser.
Okay, there we go. You know what? So let's go right to left, man, and introduce your guys' self.
Well, I'm Corey Thompson. Everybody calls me CT. I'm an alumni of Waggener. I graduated 2005, and I was under Chris Wolf, and came back here in 2010 under Rob Ross, who's my cousin, by the way. A lot of people get to figure him out. And I started I did football that year when I was at Eastern Kentucky University. I drove back and forth every single day to coach football. That was one of my dreams to do, and I did that hour and a half. After that, in 2013, I started doing track and field here. So I've been a track and field coach since then. Got on in 2015 to football with Jordan Johnson, and I've been here ever since. After Jordan Johnson, it was Ty Lawson. Ty Lawson, my predecessor, he was a quarterback with me here in 2005. That's back when in Chris Wolf's era with Alfonso Smith.
Wow.
Okay.
Some dudes we just mentioned.
There we go. And then we got it. Hey, this guy. Introduce yourself real quick.
Darnell Johnson. I'm the receivers coach here. I don't have a story like Corey, but I did play here in 96 and 97 under Ken Hawkman. But, yeah, I'm back. We ready to turn things around.
There we go.
He's been around the coaching block for a little while.
Yeah, I coached. I started in 06 at Seneca with Coach Dover. I was at Dogs for a couple years with Coach Farmer, and then I ended up with Coach Watson and Coach Dover at Fredell in 2019.
Okay. Yeah, that's the squad, right?
That was a good year.
That's the squad that you keep talking about.
Hey, Darnell left, and it went all downhill after that, man.
Nah, it had nothing to do with me.
So, hey, listen, guys, we want to show love to those guys. You know what I mean? We always ask this question to the boys, and it's always, Mom, man. You gotta, Mom always got our back, man. But you've been in the game for a while, right? Shout out some of your mentors, man.
One of my top mentors is athletic director here, Coach James Dumstorff. He's the whole reason I came back. He coached me when I was a kid here and from 2001 to 05 in track and field, and he asked me to come back and coach. So that's the whole reason I came back to Waggener and start coaching after I got out the military. So here's one, Rob Ross. It's my cousin. He's like my father figure. He's the whole reason I am associated at Waggener. I was a South End kid. I should have went to Iroquois when I was in high school, but I traveled a 3-hour bus drive every day back and forth here to Waggener. It meant something to me. And then obviously the great Chris Wolf. Chris Wolf, that's a guy right there. So he's definitely one of my top mentors that I've learned a lot from. That's how I know football.
Love it.
Hey, Chris Wolf's
Love it.
The dude to learn football from.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And then like personally, man, who are those people that have your back, man?
I have quite a few in this building at Waggener. I don't think there's a better school in Jefferson County with a better support staff. I'm really attached to a lot of folks at Mayo because they were here at Waggener, crazy enough, when I was a student. So the John Kelsey at AD. And a lot of my teachers. But everybody here at Waggener, all my teachers, we have the best boss in the world, and Dr. Hitchens. She is amazing. My old linebacker coach is actually an assistant principal here, Trent Bates. and actually Coach D's student teacher at the time when I was a student. He's another assistant principal, Adam Ancient, and Mr. Cupper, Dr. Nosley, like all our admin team, they have my back. Whatever I need to do, they got me. And all the teachers, they're great coworkers to have, you know.
Yeah, and this is, you know what I mean, for your community to get to know that, you know what I mean, that this school is what you love, man, and that's why you want to coach, you want to build this team up to, you know, to be a powerhouse, you know, but you have the people behind you to do it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm told that I need to go home more because I'm always here. I'm usually the last person to leave for 3 seasons. I actually coached track and field this past, I think, 3 years. I coach wrestling here. But I'm the activity bus driver, so my goal is to get the kids home every day. That was one thing I struggled with, that 3-hour bus drive, getting home at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night as a student. So I love to be able to get our kids home in 40 minutes, maybe an hour and a half, and get them home safely. That gives me a peace of mind. I absolutely, the 2 weeks that we get a break for coaching, especially me, for the whole year, I hate that period because my mind wanders. I'm wondering what's going on with the kids. Are they safe? So many different issues happen. So yesterday was a rude awakening. We had some issues going on, and now they're back in our hands, and whatever I can do. I got a kid right now on the way. I just called an Uber. He couldn't get here. So I'm like, hey, there's an Uber coming, brother. I got your back.
That's what it's about, man. And this is really why, you know what I mean, we started this, is to give the community, you know, our community, the city of Louisville, to understand, man, coaching, man, it's more than coaching, man. And
you don't do it for the money.
Exactly.
Coach Scoggins and I tell a story all the time. Coach Ty Scoggins and I sat on the bus one day, and we figured up our salaries, and it was like 12 cents an hour. I mean, it was crazy. He was like, do you really want to do this? I was like, yeah, let's do it. And he got to figure, and he's like, 12 cents an hour. I was like, whoa, why do we do this? And it's not for the money. It's for the reason you just said. And I've been threatened, because I talk to my kids during the dead period. If they call me and say, Coach, I'm hungry, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, fire me, because I'm going to feed that kid. Mm-hmm. If a kid calls me, Coach, I'm stuck somewhere, I need a ride, I don't care if it's a dead period or not, I'm going to go give that kid a ride. Mm-hmm. And I told them 100 times, you can fire me. I'm going to do what's right. I'm not going to leave a kid stranded, because they're my kids.
Yes.
When they're not at home with their mamas and daddies, they're my kids. And it sounds to me like that's your philosophy too.
1,000%. Those kids depend on me. I'm the head coach now. It's the weirdest thing for them to look at me in a different light for some reason. Usually they come to me for anything. This past year, they don't want to share everything with me because I'm the head guy.
It's different. You know? It is different.
But at the same time, I had the conversation with a lot of them, especially one who told me, they said, Coach, I can't run, haven't eaten anything, haven't slept. And I'm like, man. So I went and got some food for that kid and dropped it off at him and his parents' house, you know, just try to look out for him. And my assistant coaches, like, their support of me, especially in this new role, how my mind works, is so amazing. So anything I ask of them, they got it. They told me, Coach, you ain't got to worry about nothing. The first time, and it was weird for me to hear them say it, they said, Coach, we're going to make you Coach of the Year. I'm like, wow. Like, I don't even know how to take that, but they're a hardworking staff as well.
There you go.
I said that.
Yeah, and hey, let's just shine some light on you, man. You know what I mean? You've been doing this in this game. Shout out some of your mentors.
My main mentor in this football thing is LaCunta Farmer. I've been knowing Coach Farmer since I was a young boy, and he coached my oldest son. And so I wanted to coach with Farmer. There's only a few coaches that I wanted to coach with, and he was the main one. He taught me a lot about this game. He's actually my role model as a father, as a husband. I follow his footsteps. So, I mean, that's the main mentor that I talk about a lot.
And it's not necessarily football with LaCunta. It's off the field, how to be a man, how to be a God-fearing man, how to do what's right. That's LaCunta right there. Yeah. LaCunta doesn't care. Well, I don't want to say he don't care about football, but LaCunta is teach you how to be a man, and the rest will follow. That's LaCunta in
definitely is
in a short sentence.
Yeah. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. We're what, 10 minutes in, and we're not even really.
No,
we're talking. We're talking about life. You know what I mean? You're talking.
Well,
about,
if you bring up LaCunta, I can talk about him for hours. I mean, it's just
Hours.
yeah.
But and it's crazy about your stories because you know
Yeah.
what I mean. You're so passionate about these young men, and that's what we need. More of. And a lot of people, you know what I mean, they get in this game for a lot of different reasons. You know what I mean? Yeah, I want to be the offensive coordinator. Next, I want to be the head coach. They're getting into it for the wrong reasons. Like you know what I mean? You've been around. You know what I mean? You've been different staffs, but you're doing it for the right reason. Yeah. And that's why we like doing this, because we can spotlight you guys, man, and get the community to really understand, like, you're about this life, man.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Hey,
sir.
Darnell's been on some good staffs.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
not just saying that because he worked with me, but
I have. For
he
real.
has. I mean, really has.
Yeah, man. So yeah, let's try to get back into like some football stuff, man. Like the number you wore. Did that have a meaning?
The number I wore, it has so much more meaning. I actually came into this locker room as a freshman, and I requested the number 26. And Chris Wolf looked at me and said, "You look like a 24, like a Charlie Woodson." So ever since then, I wore 24, and I hold that up to everything I do. Obviously, the late great Kobe Bryant, he did his magic with that number as well as 8. So and I'm a big fan of Charles Woodson. He's one of my favorite players, along with Ray Lewis and Randy Moss. But that number I picked, I haven't really issued that number out lately. It got a little bit of weird where I just felt like, let me go ahead and hold this back. But now as the head guy, I want to go ahead and give every number out, because usually what we do here at Waggener, since I've been here since 2010, we hold jerseys back because a former player might have passed away, and just to kind of honor them. But shout out to Michael Irvin. I listened to an interview he had while his jersey's not retired. And his jersey's not retired because he feels like he'd rather his name be brought up in comparison to people who wear it, rather than it be in the rafters and no one mention it. And I'm like, man, that sounds pretty
deep.
strong.
Yeah,
Right?
that is.
Yeah.
So, and one thing that Darnell's educated me about, as well as Ross, late great Static Major, actually, this was his locker room. Static Major was a part of our Dirty 30 group here at Waggener, and he wore the number 29. And if you know anything about Waggener football, Alfonso Smith, he's one of the only Wildcats I know that has made it to the NFL, and he actually coached at Michigan. He wore 29. So
I wore it before he got hurt. So.
Oh, even more, right? See?
That makes it even better.
Yeah, I wore it before Alfonso. So actually, his my freshman year when we was here, his actual jersey, if I'd have known it then, I would have kept it. But Static Major's actual jersey, his varsity jersey, was our freshman jerseys, and I actually wore his jersey. And I just found that out like 2 years ago.
Wow.
Wow.
I got a picture with him in it and everything. I was like, man,
Wow.
I've known that. How much money I could have got for that jersey?
So that was the meaning behind the number you wore?
No, actually, I didn't know he wore it. It was just issued to me by Coach Dickerson. I asked for 5, and he didn't want to give me 5. So he's like, here, take his freshman. So I just wore 29. And
That's
then,
usually the way it works. Lucky you didn't get 76 or something like that.
Yeah, that's some good stuff, man. So like growing up in the city, did you guys play like little league ball around here?
I played for the South End Seminoles, South Louisville Seminoles. I lived in Iroquois Projects.
Okay.
Everything I knew and did, I went to Southern Middle School, which is now Olmsted North, and I lived on that side of town. So that's the only team I played for Little League. I did flag football with our community center, but I only did, I think, my 7th and 8th grade year is the only year I played football.
So you grew up in Iroquois Homes, or?
Iroquois Homes, yep.
Wow.
And
Yeah,
traveled
that
all
was
the
a
way
place
out
to
here.
be back in
Oh, yeah.
early 2000s, late 90s.
Yeah, I had my experience there. At one point in time, I lived in Park Hill. I lived in Cotter Homes. I lived in Southwick.
No stranger to the bricks.
Yeah, the bricks that's home. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what about yourself?
Actually, I didn't play till my 8th grade year, and then I got in trouble in school, so my grandmother wouldn't let me finish. She put me out in the middle of the summer, So I didn't actually play organized football until ninth grade when I got here.
Wow, man. What's been your fondest memory, man, of just playing this game?
Ooh, I tell the kids all the time. When I first got here, I remember, and go back to Dawes. One of my buddies, Derek Pollack, played there, and Josh Bird. As freshmen here in our freshman game, I remember getting beat. I think it was like 86-0. Like we got mashed.
How's that even possible?
And for varsity, we went 3-7, and that taste that is in your mouth, you're like, you remember that, and you're gonna hold on to that. And every time you go into work, you punch the clock. That's on the table, you know. So I was fortunate enough to end here. My senior year, we went 9-0. Lost on senior night to Central. End up being 10-2 that year under Chris Shule. That's still one of the best runs here in Waggener history. But that way, you got to take your lickings sometimes to learn the game, you know. And I think we had about 19 seniors, that freshmen that stayed until senior year.
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
Yeah,
phenomenal. What's your favorite memory?
I think my favorite memory was when I transferred after my sophomore year to go to Valley to play with my best friend. He was a quarterback, Dwayne Whitfield, and we played Waggener. It was Waggener week, and we actually beat them 62-60, and I believe it was either single overtime or double overtime, and that was like the greatest memory on earth. And then we had to come back out here and play them in the playoffs, and I don't know what happened, but we ended up losing by like 30 or something like that.
Wow. 62-60.
Yeah, it was like
the shootout.
Hey, that's a no defense.
No, literally, like Wayne had 250 yards rushing, 250 yards passing, and Greg Candapple he had 500 yards passing.
Wow.
It was literally a shootout to the end.
Now, who was the head coach then?
Over here it was Ken Hawkman, and over there it was Coach Fletcher.
Fletch, that's right. He was at Valley. Wow.
My junior year, I participated in the highest scoring, at the time it was the highest scoring game in state history. It's just passed with Wandale Robinson. He was at Western Hills.
Mm-hmm.
They some crazy number, but it was 82-68. It
Whoa.
was a playoff game against Pulaski County, and it was crazy.
What was it? Didn't Doss have some kind of weird where they scored like 70 last year?
Yeah,
80?
2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. Yeah.
How is that?
We didn't even score that much when we was at Ferndale. We was averaging almost 50, wasn't we?
Yeah, we were in the 50s.
Yeah, we
80?
almost 50.
Whoa.
Jeez.
We beat Bullitt Central 72 to something, but that was crazy. Wow. 82. I mean, that's
82
it's like a
points.
pinball game.
Now, getting into coaching, what was that one thing that wanted you to get? You had a phenomenal 5 minutes telling us why you do what you do for these kids, man. But what's that one reason why you just wanted to get into this game and start coaching it?
Honestly, back when I ran track and field, I played football and ran track and field in college. My mom passed away when I was in the military, and she just had this take on kids. Like the kids just gravitated to her. So when she passed, I feel like it kind of passed to me. That's when I got into education. I work inside the building as well. But ever since then, I like being around kids. Like you said, it's 12 cents an hour what we do. I don't look at this as work,
Right.
at all. Like I would really do this for free if all my needs were covered. But just helping out. I have this drive to just help others, and who better to help than our youth, the next generation, you know? So
It's scary. It really is.
yeah.
I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, I just wonder if when I was that age, if the adults thought the same thing that I do now about the youth. I mean, because sometimes I look at some of these kids and I'm like, we're screwed. There's no, you know what I'm saying, though?
I see it, yeah.
And it's up to us to mold them, but not everybody, you know, that's what makes sports so great is they get that. A lot of these kids, they get off the bus, they go home. They don't get that.
They don't, yeah. I was just talking to our AD earlier today, and he's telling me his daughter, like, plays golf, and when she goes home, he talks about goals with her, like, every day. How often do kids get that from their parents, right? And we had a parent meeting last night here, and I go over the different things, and I tell them that, hey, we're in this together. You may have some shortcomings as well as us, but if we tackle this together, then we'll be fine. Like we're teaching them how to be a man. Like when they come in this locker room, first thing they're doing is they're going to get on sync and they're going to clean this locker room before they leave. They don't need to take home their laundry. We teach them how to do laundry. We have washing machines here, like all of that. I for the longest, until I was like 23 years old, I didn't even know how to weed eat. My coach, who's the AD now, he taught me how to weed eat at 23. And our kids, we can give them some of those life experiences, like why not? It's not all about football, the X's and O's,
I love it, man. I love it, man. What's that one thing that got you into coaching?
It was actually the kids that got me into coaching. I was out at Coach Dover had just got a job at Seneca his first year, and I just came out to watch. And I was on the sideline, and some of the kids actually thought I was a kid. And it's like, man, come and play. I'm like, dude, I'm grown. So I built a bond with them, and then it's like, well, won't you come and coach next year? So the following year, I told Coach Dover that I wanted to come out and help. And here I am a lot of years later.
Man, and dealing with stress, man, because I feel like, you know what I mean, you got to have that little let go. You know what I mean? You're so passionate about these kids and do so much. But how do you get away? And if you do have a stressful day, who can you talk to? You know what I mean? But the main question is, how do you get away dealing with the stress? And then do you guys got like a good support system, man, that you have?
What I've learned is working out. Working out is the way. I've actually took a step away from working out. I'm trying to get back into it. I just left this stretch zone down the street that helps me get to where I'm stretching and feeling good around working out. But working out, it alleviates a lot of stress. Folks that I talk to, just having this normal conversation with my coworkers, that because we are all in this together. Like my favorite slogan that I learned from one of our track coaches who just retired, Coach Harrison, he says, what can go wrong will go wrong, and just get them on the bus. So if I think of it that way, it simplifies things, and it's like, hey, we just got to keep to the standard and just roll with what we got, Like we shouldn't stress so much over trying to control this, because at the end of the day, the good thing about this place and the caveat is that it's a factory. In 4 years, we're going to have a whole set of new kids and a whole nother set of new kids. But at the same time, what makes you really good at your job is if you can treat each kid individually for them, You got to treat them all as individuals, even though it's a factory.
But you know what? That's the difference between being an assistant coach and head coach. Assistant coach, it's easy to sit back and say, oh, it's not that big a deal. Yeah. When you're the man, everything's a big deal because it's on you.
Oh, I learned that with track. So we got a $300,000 track out there that we've had probably maybe 6 years now. But we had regionals. So I'm the host of the meet. I'm the meet director, and I'm wearing all these hats, and which I love. I love clerking because I get to meet so many different kids from other schools. However, it's a lot. It is a lot, and that prepared me honestly for this.
Wow. And
then dealing with when you got 115 kids for track and field, like if you can manage that, what's 40 kids in the football world? When you're already doing it. So
yeah. Well, and also, you know what I mean, dealing with, going 2-8 and having, the parents coming on you, you know what I mean, just coming down and being complaining about every little thing. You know what I mean? But like a coach probably would say it, come out and watch. You know what I mean? Come out and watch and see what happens here, because it's an open door. Every coach.
The kids never tell them the truth.
Yes.
No, they definitely don't.
Why they're not playing.
Right.
Yeah. It is a tough slope. What I try to hamper on, I try to take away excuses, right? And I let the parents know that, try to be transparent and let them know that it's all about what we get the kid to know, right? Yeah, we want them to know this, and it should be easy for them to learn, we think, but sometimes we got to spend a little bit more time with them. I strive on the smaller guy or the younger guy on the team. We are only as strong as our weakest link. So I want to make sure he knows everything. And if we can get him around, then everybody else is going to fall in line,
Yeah. Man, this has been a phenomenal episode already,
what
man.
took us so long to get here, man?
I know, man. Jesus.
Yeah.
Talk about your staff here. You know what I mean? Are you fully staffed? Are you calling offense, defense? What's going on around here?
I am crazy enough fully staffed. A lot of people over the years have asked, hey, when are you going to be a head coach? And I just kind of stayed away from it. I just never thought I'd be a head coach because I'm like, who am I going to have to come on staff with me, right? Crazy enough, I take this job. Full staff falls in my lap, especially with his help, you know. He's telling me, hey, this coach wants to come on. This coach wants to come on. And every coach that has come has been wanting to commit and help out and take a role. And how my mind breaks down things is that I've been around guys who want to call the offense and defense and stuff, but we are strong if I can get them to grow on their respective levels, right? So defense over here, offense over there, and I can manage both. And I tell my coaches, I'm like, my job is to coach you all. Y'all coach the kids. I don't spend much time with the kids as much as I'm used to doing. But right now we have basically a co-coordinator type deal on offense and defense because I tell them I know what I want is I want to know what you're going to call before you call it. So that's going to happen. In order for you to do that, there's a lot of work that comes into that. So putting that on one person is a lot. It really is. So we we try to work together. So offensive staff is over here, defensive staff is over here. I have Coach DJ Bruce. He's an alumni. He played with me back here when I was at Waggener. He's our running back coach. Got Darnell Johnson. He's over here at receivers. So he'll work pass game coordination, and DJ will work run game coordination. We have an offensive line coach who's also an alumni who I actually coached, Tylen Gill. He works in unison with our D-line coach, which is Elijah Battle. Elijah has a background in Thailand as well inside of strength and conditioning, so they kind of work a little bit hand-in-hand in the weight room with DJ as well. And then I have, for linebackers, his name's Anthony Frey, great guy. He knows his way around the defense, especially in the pass coverages, and then Elijah works more of the run game coordination for defense. I, right now, am the DB coach, but I literally today just spoke to an old guy who I coach, who's one of the best corners I've coached that's been around Waggener. He wants to come on staff as DB coach. So once that happens, I'll have a full staff. I actually have a quarterback coach too, Daz Morris. He works with our quarterback. So once you can spread out like that, that's never happened since I've been here. That never happened with Chris Wolf. It never happened with Rob Rawls or Jordan Johnson or Ty Lawson. So each coach has strived to get that at. I somehow got it. It's weird. But I just try to make sure everyone knows their job and everyone knows what's going on, and it'll go boom. They'll get on the bus, per se.
There you go. And then with you, you know what I mean, coming on the staff, how are you feeling about this team? You guys went through spring ball. You know what I mean? How are you feeling about this team at this stage of the season? I know it's just dead period just ended, but how are you feeling?
I mean, with the kids, I feel like they're buying into the system, and I think that's been missing. And the coaches is buying in. CT's doing a great job with coaching us to coach them. And I think overall, we're going to be better than we was last year. The kids is ready, we ready, so.
Yeah, they sound ready. You know what I mean? They were kind of a little, you know what I mean? They were QB1. He's a young guy, man. He's really, really shy, you know what I mean? And we just – and that's why we try to do this too. Is you know what I mean? Get them.
I'd like to show him this time next year.
Exactly.
It'll be a totally different. Person,
yeah, and that's what we want to give them, that little gift. You know what I mean? To be, hey man, I was a sophomore, I was a freshman, I was on this podcast, and you can come back and look at this and be like, man, look how much I've grown. You know what I mean? From that time to now, you know.
Yeah, that's a special kid. He's real mild mannered. As a freshman, he actually started running back at the beginning of the season. Crazy enough, a lot of people don't know that we went through 5 quarterbacks last year. 5 quarterbacks. And we had about 55 kids on the team throughout the year. We lost 25 due to injury, getting put off, or quitting, right? We still ended up with like 25 kids, you know. But that kid ended up being the starting quarterback at the end, you know. And he looked pretty good. He's an athlete. And he's real calm and collective. Like, you need that at quarterback, right? He has to be a butthole. A quarterback got to be a butthole. But at the same time, he's mild-mannered, and he has expectations. And he's the first to get here and the last to leave every single day since his freshman year.
And he helped dig Dumbsdorff out of the ditch out there.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
But no, seriously, getting back, you say you got 55 now, maybe?
Oh, we
give or
were
take?
at 55 last year. Right
What
now
now?
we're at 40.
Hey,
40 and
dirty 30s all you need, man.
we had about 4
Darnell
kids
tell
in
you.
line.
Get you 30 assholes, and you'll.
They're showing up. I want
That's
kids
right.
to show up. And right now, out of 40 kids, I'd say we're at 33 consistently
Yeah.
showing up.
There you go. And spotlight some of those guys. You know what I mean? On just
Who do we need to watch
Yeah.
for this year? If we're gonna come out and watch a Waggener game, who are we going?
Right.
Who are we gonna say? Oh, this dude can play.
A big kid that I'm looking to see something special out of, that he had his flashes last year. He didn't have a flashy position, but this year we're going to move him around. He plays center. His name's Jermaine Hayden. He actually wanted him to come in for an interview. He just couldn't get here in time. But Jermaine Hayden's going to be a senior. He was a center last year. He's pretty stellar all year. Our first game of the season at the bowl game against Grant County, he was one of the MVPs.
At center.
So at center, right?
Wow.
And he's short, stocky, and he's low to the earth, and he's gonna come. He has no quit in him.
I've noticed a lot of teams. I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're good.
A lot of teams, if that center's an asshole,
Yeah.
the quarterback has confidence.
Mhm.
The offensive line has confidence, and that's when you really get rolling. When you got a good center you can depend on
Yes,
to get
sir.
everybody in line, it makes it easy.
Yeah, and he's a senior. He's the
Yeah.
leader. He's been here for a while, and he'll lift everything. Like he makes it. He's not afraid to say, "Hey, I made a mistake," and he'll handle his consequence, and he'll show the others.
So will he be your verbal leader on offense?
Yes, he's definitely one of the verbal leaders on offense, right?
Hey, most of your Hall of Fame centers
Yeah.
are the verbal leaders.
Yeah.
I mean, they run, they make the calls, they make the blocking. I mean,
Mhm.
that's when you know that you're going in the right direction.
Yep.
When you got that dude in the middle that can get everybody lined up and
Yep.
get them where they got to go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yep. And is there anybody else you want to spotlight?
Also, we have returning tackle Arvon Roach, which is Ari's brother. So Arvon came here, and believe it or not, I coached their uncle here probably 2 years before they got here. And Arvon Roach is be his 4th year here, and he told his brother, "Hey, you come in here, and we gonna work." So he's a leader as well. He's pretty vocal.
He's a big dude, right?
Yeah, he's a pretty big guy.
I know who that one. I know him. I don't know him, but I know which one that he's talking about.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Anytime you got returners on the offensive line, that will definitely help you out. We got a couple kids, Brett Wallace, Daniel Bodner. They're younger. They love that weight room. Like I love kids who love the weight room. And what I'm excited defensively is you had Jamal and DeAndre Ross. They're returning back into the secondary along with Ari. So they played all 10 games there at corner, and safety. So being able to see them back at it and get our defensive line. JJ played Jermaine Hayden, we call him JJ. He plays defensive line, and he is a Hall set nose guard. He really is. So anytime you got any returners that know what they're doing, because a couple years ago we had a lot of inexperience. Now that's turned into experience somehow. So it's going to be fun to see what happens.
So getting back to you were 2-8 last year, you didn't make the playoffs, right?
Did not.
So that's a goal this year, right?
Definitely.
Make the playoff. Do you want to play week 11 or week 12?
12, yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually was thinking about this last night. I haven't even told the coaches about this. I said, you know what I want? I want a playoff game at home. Because,
That's
I mean, we only got 3 home games. How about we get a 4th game?
But you know what that means? That means you either won or came in second in the district.
Yeah. I mean, heck,
That's
that's what we plan on
yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
We're going to try our best.
I love it, man. It's
If you host a
phenomenal.
playoff game, that means you had
Hey.
a pretty good year because you.
Phenomenal episode, man. Phenomenal, man. Now, you know what I mean? You've been here a while, you know what I mean? But are you trying to start any new traditions, or are you just trying to keep a tradition, going around here?
Man, over the years, we've had conflict with trying to get things back how they were, right? Things were really, really good when I was a student here. And I feel like for the most part, especially inside the building counts. That support system's huge. Right now is the first year that we have the smallest amount of changeover in our staff. So everyone's pretty much back. And our kids, obviously with the district right now, a lot of kids don't know where they're going to be at, right? It's crazy. However, once the dust all settles, I think that we're going to be able to create our own tradition. And me and this guy over here talks about, yeah, you use things that work, you know, and I'm not afraid to use things that I've used for track. I'm not afraid to use things that we see others do that work, you know. I still got my eye on Chris Wolf over at Mel. I still got my eye, actually, Coach Dantzler over at Central. And shout out to all the coaches that were very welcoming to me once they all found out that, hey, I'm the new head coach. I would say that about JCPS. All those coaches are like uplifting to me. I've gotten random emails, man, congratulations, random texts. So I got a lot of people to pull from, you know. Coach White over at Atherton, like Mandeville over at Doss, like I'm excited to be out here to have this job, you know.
You know, and that's funny you mentioned that because JCPS has always been tight, but I've noticed since I started coaching, the minority coaches have really gotten tighter. And Nino does a great job with that minority coaches tournament they're having, but you know, Brock Roberts and Nino and Mandeville and now you and it's for you guys to get together and really have each other's back. You know, everybody's got everybody's back, but it's a special thing when, like I said, with Nino having the minority coaches association and all that. It hadn't always been like that because, you know, back when I played, there weren't many men of color who were head coaches. I mean, that's just the way it was. And now you got a lot of dudes that can really coach the game that happen to be minorities.
Yes, sir.
And that's a great thing. I mean, the kids really are picking up on it too.
Yeah, I think it's important. I mean, just having someone there who cares, but it is even more impactful to have someone that – and inspiring to have someone that looks like you. A lot of our kids inside of Louisville are minority. Yeah. And I know Crow at Western does a great job. Ellison over at J-Town, he does a great job, you know. All of us, like, it's just one of those things that we just try to hold the standard and just be ourselves, honestly, because you don't want to put too much pressure on it. It's just being yourself. Right. That's what I've learned through Chris Wolf. I've learned that so much through even Ty Lawson. Be yourself, you know.
And then the kids, they pick up on it pretty quick. Oh, yeah. They know if you're a phony or not.
They know 1,000%.
I don't care if you're black, white, green. They know a fraud when they see one. And if you're trying to be something you're not, they know. So, I mean, it's credit to you because the 3 or 4 kids that we've talked to, sounds like they call you CT. I mean, that's they've got your back. I think they've got your back, and I know you've got theirs. So.
100%.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal episode, man. I just got one more question for you guys, man, and it's all about, you know, the hobbies that you have outside of this game. This guy always says, I don't have no family.
Coach Darnell tell you I never had no hobby.
Man. I'm all ball, you know. But what's one thing that you do, you know what I mean, to like get away and just have that personal time for you?
Honestly, I really do struggle with getting away. That is probably one of the top things people tell me, hey, you need to take a break. You need to, like, it's always on my mind. But if I were to, I love being able to sit down and watch a movie in the movie theaters. I have a game system, and I barely ever play it. I do enjoy it, but I never play it, you know. But being able to see and watch shows on Netflix, right now I'm watching that new receiver show that they have out. I just watched the Sprinters show that they had out that just come out. I watched that was awesome. But I like information. So you'll catch me on YouTube. Hey, believe it or not, I want to tell y'all this. Mandeville, who's over at Doss, he's the one that exposed me to you all. I probably stayed up watching maybe 10.
You went down the rabbit hole, didn't you?
Yeah, I went down the rabbit hole. Just watching. I thought it was so neat. I was like, man, this is awesome. So YouTube's my friend. So I love learning.
So what did you do in the dead period? Did you do anything?
I have a daughter. I spent time with her. And the last day of dead period, we got to watch. She was adamant on watching that Godzilla King Kong. She's a little 4-year-old, about 25, and she's like, I want to watch the Godzilla. I was like, oh yeah, me too. Right?
That's awesome.
Hey, that is awesome.
That's awesome.
Darnell, I know you got some hobbies.
I don't got no hobbies. I think, I'm a pop out now. Pop-out now. So I got 2 grandboys. So
man.
I spend my time with my grandboys when I'm out here. So those are my hobbies now. We go eat pancakes on Saturday mornings and just chill.
Start that tradition. Let's go, man.
I will tell you during the dead period, you know what I did? I did a defensive coordinator. You know what I did?
What's that?
I did the playbook. That was my time to get the playbook ready for the year. That's what I did on dead period. We never traveled because I wanted to get that. Day one, I wanted to be ready. Mm-hmm. So I always did my playbook during the dead period. Every year I ripped my playbook up, and I would start all over. Now, a lot of stuff was the same, but I would throw it away, and I would start from scratch drawing.
Yep.
And that's what I did during the dead period. And he makes fun of me because I said I didn't have any hobbies because I was watching film, I was drawing plays, I was getting ready. He would tell you, I knew what the other team was going to run when they came out of the huddle because I watched so much film. And Darnell will tell you, I would say, here comes the inside zone. Yep. Here comes the sweep. Here comes the screen. And I was probably right, 90% of the time because I would watch it and I would know. And that was my hobby. And I always felt like if you're going to do it, do it. And if you're not going to do it, then don't do it. And I got to the point where I didn't want to do it no more, so I'm doing this. And now we're all in. This is what we do now. He keeps telling me I'm coming back coaching. I'm not because this is.
Be back.
I've always said when you coach, you can help 70 kids. I'm helping 750 kids now by doing what we're doing. Yep. So, coach is I'm out. I'm out. And I told him if I come back, I'm coming to Waggener because he said I was coming back. But I'm done.
Welcome,
I'm done.
You're more than welcome.
So, man, this is what it's about, man.
Yes.
If you're watching this episode and you're all the way to this end, man,
I've never met this dude before, and this is the first time I've ever met him. And I'm telling you right now, I know a lot of people around here. I like what I see.
Yeah.
This dude, he's got it.
Yes.
It's nothing to do with football either. He's got it.
Exactly.
It's life.
And just like he says, he's just being himself.
That's right.
And,
Be yourself, and the football will follow.
Yeah, and the
kids will pick up on it. The community pick up on it. You'll get the backing, and you're well on your way. If you can keep Dumbsdorf in line, keep him doing what he's doing, you'll be fine.
Yes,
yeah, like I said, man, it's been a phenomenal episode, man. I really appreciate you having us out here. Yes. If we can come back, if we can do anything for you, man, we're willing to do it.
If you ever have any fundraisers or something, hit me up, and we'll put it on. We'll put it on Twitter. We'll put it on our YouTube page.
Yeah,
that's what we're about. We're about helping everybody out.
Yeah,
we don't just help Fairdale. We don't just help SRtroy. We're trying to help everybody.
Yes, sir.
And so us, the ones that need the help are not the Trinities and the St. X's and the Males and yes, we love those guys too, but the little guys is who we're trying. The guys that need the help.
I appreciate that.
Waggener, Seneca, all you guys. Everybody needs help.
We do, for sure.
And being a new coach, you need help. You got to get the connections, and
But you got a guy like this. That's really helping you out, man. And
Pawpaw's got some connections.
I want to do one thing. Shout out two people who are have a huge impact on our program right now. They would never forgive me for not shouting them out. Mackenzie, she's our trainer here. Amazing. She's a great support system as well. And our director of player development, Coach Starks, as well.
Isn't it amazing what a good trainer, the morale they bring?
Yes.
I've had some terrible trainers. And Darnell testified, when you have a good trainer that you can lean on, it makes your life so much better. Like they get the physicals, they do all that stuff, and you can just say, man, I don't have to do that.
Yeah. That is true.
Yeah, shout out Mackenzie. I love the trainers. Shout out. I don't know Mackenzie, but shout out to Mackenzie.
But yeah, if you want us to come out for an event, we'll be out here. We'll go live. We'll do what we got to do to get you out in the community.
Okay.
Phenomenal, Coach. And I appreciate you, man, coming on.
No problem.
But like we always say, everyone has a story.
We're here for them to tell it.
Cleats to Whistle podcast.